Hey everybody, here it is, Big Radials Drumming Goose, the JRF-6B. Only 47 of these were made in history, and unlike the Drumming Goose of yesteryear, the more popular one was a luxury vehicle. Oh, these here are signal lights. These are how you would, they were part of what was called the IFF, Identify Friend or Foe. And the lights usually, I didn't check, but normally they were on the bottom of the fuselage. I think some planes had them on the wings. But they'd be set up in certain patterns, and that's how you'd recognize friend or foe from below. This is your rudder trim down here. Tail wheel lock brake over here. And your altimeter, set your barometric pressure. Everything in this cockpit is functioning as it should. You got your heading indicator, and down here you have your gyro ran autopilot. And we'll take a closer look at some of these controls in a little bit. You have that your gear warning light, the yellow one, the amber one. And these are your lights for outside as well as your pitot heat is here. Again, we'll take a closer look at these. But yeah, the plane is really well done. It's big radials, and the big radial sound is awesome. The detail is super crisp and clear right now. I'm in VR using SteamVR and an Oculus Quest, and everything is extremely readable here. There's this is a overhead panel light. You can see I can dim it up here. No dimmer down there, but you can dim this one up here. Oh, actually the dimmer is over to the right for the main panel. And then back here we have our cross-feed fuel switch. We have our fuel on-off switches, our fuel valve cut-off switches. We have the emergency light again up back. We have gear landing down below. I don't think I actually look at it here, but down below is the landing gear. It's manual. You have to crank it. You have the fuel indicator, right and left wing. You have one over here on the right wing, and then another one behind on the left. And then your generators and your starter switches there, and here's the left fuel. Now these are only accurate if you're in level flight, and you can see it says that. You have to be in level flight, otherwise they're not accurate. Now let's take a look at the back. Go into the back here, and here we are in the back. You can see some gauges up top there, and I'll take a closer look at those as well. And we have dome lights. The door back here does open. I would not recommend opening it while you're flying, although this particular plane you probably could have. But let me tell you a little bit about this plane as we're flying here and as the pilot's getting ready to land us in the water. Installation is really easy. Unzip the file, put it in your community folder. This Goose has two air-cooled 9-cylinder Pratt & Whitney R985 Wasp Junior SB engines. These engines are capable of each producing 450 horsepower for takeoff. And for a fast cruise at low altitudes, you can sustain 400 horsepower at up to 5,000 feet. So you can really move along very, very well with this particular Goose. The JRF-6B, 47 of which were built overall, as I said, was designed as a navigational training aircraft. Has none of the bells and whistles that the executive aircraft had, including sound insulation, which is why you can hear that engine so beautifully here, because there is no sound insulation, which of course made everything lighter. So with the decreased weight, this becomes really nice on short airfield takeoffs. Now this Goose by Big Radials is completely new, represents an original older World War II model of the Goose that doesn't have any of the modifications that came later, like the electrical gears or the retractable floats. So this doesn't. These floats are standard. They're not retractable like the other Drumming Goose that I've flown here, and you can see videos of on my channel. And like I mentioned earlier, the gear is not electric. You have to hand crank it up and down. Now, of course, you can skip that by programming a button for it, but to be more realistic, you would hand crank it. So the doors open again in between the cabinets, and as we move up front, you'll see there's a forward compartment. Can't write anything on the chalkboard, I tried, but you'll see the forward compartment here. Let me open this door here. And listen to the sounds of the doors and everything as they open and close. So now here's the floor compartment. This has got some fun stuff, as well as if you want to make it a little bit simpler. For instance, you can actually turn on a water assistant. It's kind of like a water rudder. So the yokes, you can turn on leather covered or normal. You can hide them. You have a boarding ladder, which during the land parking, when you're parked on land, I should say, you can put down the boarding ladder. Again, you can turn on the water assistant, which will help you steer when you're in the water, but it's not realistic. Now you got that anchor there, and you can open up this door. Now I can actually fly from up here, which is kind of fun. I don't know how realistic it is. I kept fearing that that door was going to come slamming back on me, but let's start up the engine, let you hear this beautiful engine sound. From out here, I'm just going to auto start. And I don't know if you caught the little puff of smoke when it started up, which was a nice touch. So like I said, I'm fine right now. I'm up in this forward compartment, which I think somebody in the movie actually comes out of this compartment with a gun. Might be in the Expendables movie, maybe one of the Expendables, because I think they fly a plane similar to this, or one of these, I'm not sure. But anyhow, so let me get back down and continue on with some of the setup in this plane. That compartment that I showed you, not the compartment, the hidden control panel, like I said, you can turn on the water assistant. You can also set up a fishing stool and fishing pole on the top of the plane. So when you fly to one of these nice locations, and I'll show you as soon as we get down there and stop. Close this door. Oh, and these are the parking brakes, which is kind of neat, the way they just come down and stop. So here's the stool with the fishing pole, and we're gonna have a seat here and just take a look. They stop the engines here though. Fishing. Okay, yeah, nice place to sit. Oh, you know what? Let's hop back down below real quick and put the anchor out so that we don't drift. So here we're going to go ahead and put the anchor out. It's here on the hidden panel. And we'll close that and we'll head back up. Okay, so there's the anchor. You can see the rope down there was tied to the fuselage and the bow, I guess they call it. Oh, let me turn off my lights. Don't need my lights sitting here in the water. Amazing, amazing detail. Some great liveries. It came with two models, one with skis, which I'm going to be trying soon. You guys, if you've watched my videos, know I like the mountains, and I like landing on top of them if I can. So I will be trying the Goose out that has the skis. I get a kick out of how the float for the anchor kind of bobs up completely out of the water. That's a very stiff piece of rope. But yeah, so you can just sit up here and do a little floating and fishing. So let's take a closer look at some of these panels here. So again, these are the lights, your nav lights, your landing lights, your pitot heat. These knobs here adjust the brightness. You have the pedestal light, you have the console or instrument light, then you have I think it says dome. The last one over there does not seem to actually be functioning. You have fire extinguisher. This one I gotta look up because it turns on a light, but I forget what it does. I have to look this one up. And again, closer look here at some of these gauges and the gyroscope autopilot controls down here. And you can see all of this is all interacted, able to be interacted with, I should say. Let's just say it's not a work in progress. Everything seems to be complete on it. And I will say it flies a lot more difficultly than most planes that you're going to get in. If you're going to fly this, I really recommend you read the included PDF manual. It's got some good hints and tips. It's not a Cessna. It's not a little Piper. The thing takes off very, very different than a lot of those planes, especially in the water. So you can see up here too, the detail is really, really sweet. We got the starters, we got the engine buttons, we got the flaps, the carb heat, prop. I think I showed you this earlier, but you can dim the lights here. And again, if I want to dim the instrument lights, that's down there. Take off the emergency brakes. And let's go ahead and get back up into the seat, I think, here, and take off. Well, like I said, these are the recognition lights, and if you've never heard of those, or identification lights, they were called by some, and it was identification friend or foe. It's called the IFF method. It let pilots let other aircraft know if they were friendlies or not. Eventually this was done by a radio transceiver. Oh, these are the gear in the back. I wanted to show you those too, and let you actually sit back there and fly to a degree. You can kind of see what you're doing. But yeah, awesome plane, 26 bucks. Can't beat it. You get the regular model, you get the model with the skis. You get several nice paint jobs. This is the United States Navy, which, being an old Navy guy, I had to go with it. It's a great plane. I highly recommend it. See you in the skies, and thanks for watching, everybody.